ARMY suspect Jungkook will open BTS's 2026 World Tour, not RM or jeon. A coincidence, or a signal no one is ready to admit? What if the first voice the world hears when BTS steps back onto a global stage in 2026 is not the leader who guided them through history, nor the eldest member who carried the weight of enlistment first, but Jungkook, the youngest, the most streamed, the one ARMY believes now stands at the emotional crossroads of an entire generation? And what if this choice, if it happens, is not accidental at all, but a carefully layered message about where BTS is heading after silence, separation, and survival? This is the question lighting up timelines, private group chats, late-night theories, and emotional debates across the global ARMY community after BTS officially confirmed their full group comeback on March 20th, 2026. The announcement alone was enough to shake the industry. But beneath the celebration, beneath the tears and the countdowns, another narrative has begun to form, one that refuses to stay quiet. Why does so much speculation point to Jungkook as the one who might open BTS's world tour in 2026? And why does that possibility feel both thrilling and unsettling to fans who know BTS's history by heart? On January 1st, 2026, HYB and Big Hit Music confirmed what millions had been waiting nearly 4 years to hear. BTS would return as a complete group with a brand new album scheduled for release on March 20th, 2026, followed by a world tour. The announcement spread like wildfire across platforms once known as Twitter, now X, and beyond, triggering viral fan art, streaming initiatives, and emotional reactions that ranged from disbelief to quiet relief. According to the official statement shared by Big Hit Music, the comeback would mark BTS's first full group release since Proof in 2022, closing the chapter on a hiatus shaped by mandatory military service for every member. The news was covered widely by international outlets, including Billboard, ABC News, Rolling Stone, and Hypebeast, each emphasizing the historic weight of the moment. BTS is not simply returning, these reports suggested. They are re-entering a global industry that changed while they were gone, and an audience that grew older, more diverse, and perhaps even more emotionally invested during their absence. One fan account, at Marutro on X, went viral after posting a self-designed poster reading, "BTS is back," with the date March 20th, 2026, showing the silhouettes of all 7 members from behind. The image quickly amassed over 19,000 likes and thousands of reposts. Fans filled the replies with gratitude, joy, and microscopic attention to detail. One comment praised the tiny number 7 hidden on V's silhouette, calling it a love letter only ARMY would notice. Others launched global initiatives like Operation Stream Strike, already preparing for a comeback that had not yet revealed a title, tracklist, or concept. Yet, as the celebration expanded, something else quietly emerged. A question that felt almost taboo at first, then impossible to ignore. When BTS finally steps onto a world tour stage in 2026, who will open the show? For years, the answer would have felt obvious. RM, the leader, the spokesperson, the intellectual anchor of BTS, has traditionally opened concerts with words that ground the group's identity. jeon, the eldest, has symbolized endurance, humor, and responsibility, especially as the first member to enlist. In BTS's internal hierarchy, leadership has never been about ego, but about balance, respect, and shared weight. Why are so many fans now whispering the same name, Jungkook? The speculation did not come from an official leak. There was no statement, no insider confirmation, no press release hinting at a setlist order. Instead, it came from patterns, symbolism, and emotional logic, the kind ARMY has learned to read over more than a decade of following BTS's career. Jungkook's solo era during the group's hiatus fundamentally altered how the global public perceives him. While all members released individual projects, Jungkook's presence on international charts, radio playlists, and streaming platforms was impossible to ignore. His solo releases crossed language barriers with ease, dominating Spotify rankings and drawing in listeners who may not have followed BTS closely before. For a generation of newer fans, Jungkook was not just part of BTS. He was the first door they walked through. This is where the theory deepens. If BTS's 2026 World Tour is not just a return, but a reintroduction to a post-hiatus global audience, who better to serve as the opening bridge than the member most recognized by that newer generation? Who better to pull casual listeners into the collective story of 7 voices becoming one again? ARMY debates quickly turned intense. Some fans see this possibility as a natural evolution, not a threat. They argue that Jungkook opening a concert would not diminish RM's leadership or Jin's symbolic role, but rather reflect BTS's ability to adapt without losing its core. Others, however, express discomfort, worrying that such a move could be misinterpreted by outsiders as a shift in hierarchy, even if BTS themselves never intended it that way. The tension lies in BTS's unique identity. This is a group that has always rejected the idea of a single center, even while acknowledging individual popularity. Any decision that appears to elevate one member over others invites scrutiny, not because fans doubt BTS's unity, but because they understand how easily narratives can be distorted in a global media landscape hungry for drama, and yet the clues keep coming. Fans point to Jungkook's positioning in recent promotional materials, to subtle choices in visual storytelling, to the way his image often functions as an emotional entry point rather than a conclusion. They revisit moments from past tours, interviews, and documentaries, asking whether BTS has been preparing ARMY for this evolution all along. The idea is not that Jungkook would lead BTS. RM remains the leader, and that fact has never been questioned by the group or the fandom. The theory instead suggests that Jungkook might open the show musically or visually, setting the tone before the group fully assembles on stage. In this interpretation, Jungkook is not replacing anyone. He is opening a door. Why does this idea feel so powerful now? Because BTS's return in 2026 is not happening in the same world they left in 2022. The industry has shifted. Algorithms dominate discovery. Short-form virality shapes attention. Global audiences move faster, scroll quicker, and form attachments differently. BTS is returning not just as legends, but as artists who must reconnect with an audience whose habits have evolved. Jungkook, in many ways, embodies that bridge. He carries the legacy of BTS while speaking fluently to contemporary pop culture. He is deeply rooted in the group's history while standing comfortably in global pop spaces that operate outside traditional K-pop boundaries. International media has already framed BTS's comeback as a potential record-breaking moment. Rolling Stone emphasized the group's unmatched global influence. Billboard highlighted their history of chart dominance. ABC News noted the emotional resonance of their return after years of separation. Hypebeast focused on the cultural impact of BTS reclaiming their space in a changed industry. None of these outlets speculated about who would open the tour, but ARMY did. And ARMY has often proven remarkably intuitive when it comes to reading BTS's narrative choices. In Indonesia, the excitement is particularly intense. Fans openly express hope that Jakarta or another Indonesian city will be included in the world tour. Social media posts from Indonesian ARMY celebrate not only the return itself, but the possibility of witnessing BTS at a moment of rebirth. Finally, one fan wrote, "BTS is back. This year will be unforgettable." Behind that joy, the same question echoes. What will the first moment look like? Imagine it. The lights go down. The crowd holds its breath. And instead of a familiar spoken introduction, a single figure steps forward. Is it Jungkook? Or is this exactly what BTS wants us to wonder? This is where the emotional weight of the speculation becomes clear. Opening a concert is not just about performance order. It is about storytelling. It is about who speaks first after silence. It is about who welcomes the world back into BTS's universe after years of waiting. If Jungkook opens the tour, some fans believe it would symbolize continuity through change. Others fear it could spark unnecessary debate about roles that BTS themselves have always treated as fluid rather than fixed. Yet perhaps that discomfort is the point. BTS has never been afraid of challenging expectations. From their debut to their global breakthrough, from genre experimentation to personal vulnerability, they have consistently moved forward even when the path felt uncertain. Choosing Jungkook as an opening figure would not erase the group's past. It would acknowledge the present, HYB has confirmed that the new album will be released before the world tour begins, but has revealed nothing about its concept, sound, or themes. That silence only fuels speculation. Is the album about reunion? About growth? About survival? About transformation? Or all of it at once? Fans revisit the physical postcards sent to ARMY, bearing only the date March 20th, 2026, which first sparked assumptions about the comeback timeline. They analyze every detail, every font choice, every visual hint. In the absence of answers, theories thrive. At the center of this particular theory stands Jungkook, not as a rival to his members, but as a symbol. A symbol of BTS's ability to remain whole while allowing individual stories to shine. A symbol of connection between eras, between generations, between silence and sound. The question remains unanswered. Will Jungkook open BTS's 2026 World Tour? Or is this speculation a mirror reflecting ARMY's own hopes, fears, and expectations about what BTS's return should mean? What is certain is this: BTS's comeback on March 20th, 2026 is not just another release date. It is a cultural moment loaded with emotion, memory, and anticipation. Every decision they make will be dissected not because fans doubt them, but because they care deeply about what BTS represents. As the countdown continues and official updates remain scarce, ARMY watches closely. Every rumor, every silence, every hint feels amplified. And in that charged atmosphere, one question refuses to fade. When BTS steps back onto the world stage, who will speak first? Is it tradition? Is it leadership? Or is it the voice that connects the past to a future still unfolding? BTS is back. The world is ready. But the opening moment, who it belongs to, and what it will mean, may be the most powerful story of all. And as the silence stretches between now and March 20th, 2026, that unanswered question grows heavier, sharper, more emotionally charged with every passing day. Because this is not just about stage order, not merely about who appears first under the spotlight. For ARMY, this speculation touches something far deeper: identity, legacy, and the fragile balance BTS has always protected. The idea of Jungkook opening a BTS world tour feels provocative precisely because BTS has spent more than a decade dismantling the very concept of hierarchy that the industry loves to impose. From the beginning, BTS was never sold as a group with one irreplaceable center. Their power came from contrast, from the way 7 vastly different personalities and voices created something larger than the sum of its parts. RM's introspection, Jin's quiet strength, Suga's raw honesty, J-Hope's energy, Jimin's emotional precision, V's artistic depth, and Jungkook's versatility were never meant to compete. They were designed to coexist. Why does the possibility of Jungkook opening the tour feel like a shift that could change everything? Perhaps because opening a concert is not neutral. It frames the story. It defines the emotional entry point. And BTS concerts have always been carefully constructed narratives rather than random collections of songs. Fans know this. They remember how past tours opened with declarations of identity, with statements that told the audience exactly what kind of journey they were about to experience. In earlier eras, those openings often belonged to RM, whose words grounded the chaos of global fame into something thoughtful and human. Jeon, especially in later years, came to symbolize resilience and continuity, particularly as the first member to enlist and the first to return. Their presence at the opening of a show carried reassurance. It told ARMY, "We are here, together, and we know who we are." Now, in 2026, the context is different. BTS is returning from a collective pause that changed each member individually and altered the group's relationship with the world. Military service did not just remove them from the spotlight. It forced a rare stillness onto artists accustomed to constant motion. During that time, the industry did not wait. New acts emerged, trends shifted, audiences fragmented. Yet BTS's name never disappeared. If anything, it grew heavier with expectation. In that landscape, Jungkook's solo success takes on symbolic weight. He did not just maintain relevance, he expanded it. His voice became a constant presence on global playlists. His image circulated far beyond traditional K-pop spaces, and his name reached listeners who may not have known the full story of BTS. For many casual fans, Jungkook was not one of 7. He was the introduction. This is where ARMY's suspicion transforms into narrative